All right, welcome to the Sharp Mind Show, episode 8. I'm Nate, Fit Future MD, your host. Make sure you shop at intercell.com. Pick up a cool inspirational t-shirt today because what you wear matters. So inspire everybody around you to be better than they are today by going to intercell.com and picking up a cool inspirational t-shirt. All right, so today we're going to start out with Steelers Cam Ward. Okay, so Cam Ward was holding out in training camp. He's like a 15-year veteran. But he says that, so Cam Hayward says that he has not made enough money for his family. Cam Hayward says that he has not made enough money for his family, right? Well, he's made $145 million in his career, right? So any normal person would be like, have you lost your mind? You made $145 million. Like, how have you not made enough money for your family? Well, now, so he sat out training camp and they got a deal done where he got an extra $3 million. So now he's able to get $18 million, up to $18 million on his new deal this year. Now, personally, I don't see anything wrong with, somebody trying to get their money. Let's say he's a vet, so, it might be his last contract. Obviously, football, you can get injured very easily, right? But let me know in the comments below, has he made enough money in his career? $145 million, is that enough money? But my personal opinion, $145 million, he's made enough money for his family. It's just what we got to do with the money, right? So got to figure out how much money we got left. If he's got no money left, right, then we definitely got a problem. We got to figure out how to make this $18 million on his new deal last forever, right? And so the way you do that is you're going to invest the money, right? So, $18 million, you can really just safe invest this in index funds and, probably come out with, let's actually do the math here so index fund, you take the 18 million, throw it in index fund, so you get 2% a year on the index fund. You're talking about a yearly salary of $360,000 if you just do it into an index fund, right? And like I say, it's probably not what he's used to making, but the 18 million, that's all he's got left, right? Take that 18 million, throw it in index funds, and let's live on the $360,000, right? And even if you need like part of the 18 million to live this year, figure out how to make your money, your bills or whatever go down to under $400,000 for the year, right? Whatever that takes. If you got to sell the house, you got to move out of the neighborhood, whatever. You got to sell the crazy fancy cars, whatever. Because if this is your last contract, this is all you got. You gotta put those and make it last forever, right? So, but if he was to start over his career, if he would just taken 15% of his money and put it away. Even if it was index funds, which is the easy way, right? Index funds is the low-cost, easy way. Obviously, it's not the way that I do it because I do individual stocks because I'm trying to grow my money, right? But some people, if you already have money, you're just trying to protect your money. And index funds is definitely a good way to do that. Not financial advice, right? But basically, you got to invest this money, right? You got to make this money make babies without you having to use your hands, without you having to work, right? And hopefully, Cam Hayward can get this done this time, and wish him the best for his family. Hopefully this year, hopefully the 18 million is enough money, for his family, right? So this video is brought to you by London and the Googly Goo, which is my wife's book. And probably tomorrow I'll actually have a copy of the book sitting, so I can just pick it up and look and show it to you. But would make sense, right? But it is a children's book. It has a great moral. It has rhythm and rhyme and great pictures. So if you're interested in children's book, click the link down below. And if you got nieces, nephews, birthday parties, getting books is always the best way to help children, right? So and obviously it's got a good moral. So make sure you pick that up in the description below if you're interested, right? So while everybody else was watching football last night, nobody else was watching the MTV Video Music Awards, right? I don't know, some people probably were, but I wasn't one of them. But apparently, Ariana Grande got Video of the Year for her 26-minute musical sci-fi short film, Brighter Days Ahead, right? And Sabrina Carpenter took home Album of the Year for the album Short and Sweet. Didn't even know musicians were making albums anymore, right? But apparently there's a good song on there called Espresso. Obviously Lady Gaga had 12 nominations, and apparently she left in the middle to go actually perform at Madison Square Garden. So what did I take away from the Video Music Awards? And this is kind of a repeat for me. No matter how popular you are, right? Ariana Grande is probably one of the most popular musicians and movie stars on the planet now, right? I think her Instagram account's like over 100 million or something, some crazy number. But people still haven't heard or seen you, right? Like there's 8 billion people on this planet, and even if you have 100 million people following you, there's still people that don't even know you exist, right? So I hadn't heard the song Brighter Days. I hadn't heard the song Espresso. So it just tells me I'm out of the loop here. I need to go do some musical research. But I think Morgan Wallen did take something home, which I've heard some of his stuff, but it just goes to show you that even though you're very popular, there's still people that haven't heard of you. Right. And honestly, music has changed completely, right? Like most of the time, the only music I hear is from Instagram and TikTok, right? So your song has to go viral. It's little shorts of the song. It's not even like, whether it's a full good song or not. This just changed, and social media's changed this kind of stuff. And I really didn't even know that, people were making music videos anymore, and how much money did they spend to make a 26-minute musical sci-fi short, right? Like probably a lot of money. But I guess that's how you get 100 million followers, right? Is to spend a lot of money. But the simple fact is, you just some things you're just out of touch with, and the Video Music Awards, I don't know if they're really actually popular anymore. Like the Video Music Awards were like the most popular when I was a kid, right? Like everyone wanted to tune into the Video Music Awards back then, and now I don't know. Let's see what the viewership was. See if it'll come up with it. It probably won't, but we'll just try just to see. But I guarantee the Bills and Ravens destroyed it, right? All right, so they had 4 million viewers, right? Which is an 8% increase this year. So they're actually growing in popularity a little bit. They're obviously, not. Obviously, you want to be over, if you're having something live on television, you want something that's over 10 million, right? But the truth is, now the way things work, you don't have to watch it live when the event happened, right? You can watch clips of it. Like they'll make more money on the clips of it than the actual event itself, right? So got to keep that in mind. But that's my takeaway from the Video Music Awards this year is that even if you're super popular, still people don't know who you are. So keep pushing to, get known and make new fans, right? So hopefully that's what I'm doing here with you guys. Hopefully I'm making new fans. So, all right. So let's talk about, it's the opening weekend of football, right? I'm a Panthers fan, right? Despite the red shirt I got on, I'm a Panthers fan. And so Panthers versus Jaguars yesterday. Panthers lose 26-10, right? And it was a pretty pathetic performance on offense, if you're asking me, right? The question really is the Panthers offense this bad without Adam Thielen, or the Jags D just this good? But either way, if the offense has 3 turnovers, the likelihood of winning is really, that's really the difference in the game, right? 26-10, you had 3 turnovers. That's pretty much the difference, right? But even with Derrick Brown back, Travis Etienne still torched the Panthers with 146 yards, right? And I will say there was a sick highlight on defense for the Panthers from J.C. Horn with a sick one-handed grab, right? They're trying to throw the ball to Travis Hunter, and he jumps up in the air. Travis Hunter's basically got him beat, and playing zone, so he's behind him in the zone, and he just jumps up in the air and snatches it out of the air with one hand, right? But the Panthers couldn't get any points off of that interception, right? But still a sick interception. Obviously, Travis Hunter being a high draft pick, most of the time they were trying to talk about Travis Hunter and whether he's going to play offense and defense. He didn't play that much on defense, but he did play on defense. But apparently he's a better receiver than a defender. I'm not sure, but Chubba Hubbard still balled out, right? He was the only Panthers touchdown, and he had to score from like 20 yards out. He got a dump off pass and score from 20 yards out, right? So there's the only reason my fantasy team was anywhere close to being able to win, but obviously Baltimore's defense last night kind of destroyed me. So we'll see if we actually hold up on this W, but it definitely is still hard to watch, right? Panthers, struggling. It's still hard to watch. Obviously, we, with the trade of Adam Thielen, like you don't have the. And let me talk about Xavier Leggett for a second, because this man, right, didn't toe tap a couple times to catch the ball. Bryce Young leads Xavier Leggett, and the defender steps in front of him. He doesn't try to defend off the ball to the defender, right? And I'm not sure, if he just doesn't have those skills or what's going on with him. But with Adam Thielen gone, he's got to be an 8 to 9 reception game guy. He's got to be open. He's got to catch the ball. And he's just not holding up to his end of this bargain. I was really surprised that the Panthers didn't get some of their speedster guys more involved. Because you got the guy from Colorado that's so fast. Get him out in space somewhere. But we lost 26-10, and it just wasn't a good game for the Panthers at all. I say, talking about the Jaguar side, really, they weren't that impressive. If you really think about it, the Jaguars really just, because the way we played on offense, the Jaguars should have just blown us out, right? But, I guess they managed the game, won the game 26-10. Probably should have been 46-10. But, that's pretty much it on the Panthers start of the year. Hopefully the rest of the season goes better. Obviously I don't think the Jaguars D is really this good. I think the Panthers just sucked it up, right? So hopefully we can change that on the next one. right? So moving on to the quote of the day, right? Fear isn't an enemy, comfort is, right? So it's when you get comfortable that you get stagnant, right? So, I remember walking to the beach shop, and just being this hungry guy wanting to learn about anything and everything I could to get myself out of poverty, right? Like I was willing to do anything, right? So I ended up cutting grass. I ended up being on the sewer construction crew for the water department, and I ended up permanent job at the wastewater treatment plant, right? Like basically, hungry, just trying to do anything I can to make it after, ending medical school, right? But it's when you start getting that paycheck, right, that you get comfortable, right? It's when you start getting that, oh, we got extra money this month, we can go here and do this, and we can go here and do that, and we can travel to the Caribbean, or we can travel to, we can take a cruise, we can, it's when you get to that middle class mindset that you become stagnant and stop trying to push yourself, right? And with AI coming, you're going to have the skill set to fend off AI for as long as possible, right? Like there's going to be so many people that lose out because their skill sets are replaced by AI and robotics, right? So investing is the key to breaking out, right? And this is not financial advice, but you got to take 15% of your income no matter what and pay yourself first and start investing, right? You got to learn how to invest, and not just learn how to invest in index funds and stuff like that. You got to learn how to invest, individual stocks, learn how to figure out what a value stock is, what is a growth stock, and be able to take chunks in these companies. Like Warren Buffett's not sitting there, using an index fund. Warren Buffett is taking other people's money that he's made through insurance. Like, so they're taking their insurance premiums and they're throwing it into huge chunks of companies and growing this money to where he's one of the richest men in the world, right? After compounding that for so many years. But he's not, he's taking huge positions in companies, right? So you got to think about and learn how to do it the way that the rich people are doing it, right? But if you stay middle class, eventually the middle class gets squeezed out, and there's only the rich and the poor, right? And then you have revolution, and the rich stay rich, because they go somewhere else, and the poor are stuck behind suffering, right? That's what happened in the Soviet Union. That's what's happening in Cuba. North Korea, all these places, like that's basically what happens. And once you understand that it's all due to comfort, right? It's all due to you being comfortable. That you stop being afraid of the path that's ahead, but you start being afraid of being comfortable, right? And so comfort is the enemy. So don't get comfortable, right? I'm Nate, and I'm a life coach. You're looking to step up your life where you're not going to be stuck in the middle class. You're not going to be squeezed out and be the poor. Or, when everything is squeezed out, you actually become the rich. Then hit me up in the DM for life coaching, right? Like my life coaching deal right now is $2,000 for the year, and if I don't change your life using certain metrics, then you get the $2,000 back, right? And most life coaches charge $150 an hour, so I can come in and do a 3-hour session with you, make my $500, and then never talk to you again, and never actually be successful. Or you could take, do payments on the $2,000, and really actually get multiple sessions, weekly sessions, with me, right? I can help you, right? And if I can't, I'll give you money back, right? So you got nothing to lose on that, right? And this has been The Sharp Mind Show, episode 8. Make sure you shop at InstaSale.com. Pick up a cool inspirational t-shirt because what you wear matters. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.